So starting with why DEI, I think it kind of goes beyond DEI. I started this journey of co-founding this organization called TransforMe Learning 10 years ago with my partner, with the mission of transforming people's lives and therefore transforming organizations. We believe that every individual on this planet has it in them to unleash potential and therefore contribute to transforming organizations. And so when we started this, we said, okay, where do we start from? What changes do we need to bring in this space? And for me at that time, being a woman professional, brought up in a professional space that didn't talk about women leadership or DEI and gender equity. At that time, I went through a lot of my own struggles, figuring my way, breaking whatever ceilings I could find, getting trapped in whatever boxes I could, emulating leaders I could see. And that time they were all just alpha leaders around me. So I thought that's the way to leadership, until I fell flat on my face and realized that's not the way to be a leader. So a lot of trying and figuring out in my space got me to this journey of doing something for this cohort, for creating something for women professionals, to give them a path so they can move faster in this journey. So in that journey, Evolve was created, which was a women leadership program where we kind of, with first-hand and second-hand research, figured out what are the 12 key skills needed for women professionals to move 10x in their journey as a leader, as a professional, whatever they want to do. And so that went on, and we created this beautiful journey, partnering with some of the biggest and best clients in the world. And then in 2018, something different happened with me. We had decided to move to Australia. And overnight, I had two identities associated with me, which I never had in my life back home, which was a skilled immigrant and a woman of color. There was two new identities that happened overnight. I read about it, experienced it for the first time, realized different challenges, penetrating into a market that's dominant in a different color, that's dominated with a different culture. And then again, I felt I was getting into a journey of again reinventing, figuring this out, realizing what is diversity and how can we kind of use inclusion to go beyond the space. And so with that mission of our own journey in diversity and our own new identities that came, we included D&I in our purpose of transforming organizations. How do we have this conversations and talks? Fortunately, post-COVID, there has been a lot of thrust in this space, thanks to Black Lives Matter and a lot of movement that's happening across the world, where organizations also sitting up and figuring out what needs to be done in this space. What do you mean by DEI? What is equity? What is inclusion? What is diversity? And I think we are at a space, and organizations are at a space where they're figuring out the right step. And each organization has created their own steps, but there's no one-step solution or five-step process that fits for all. And in the last 3 years, we've been able to partner with organizations like Discovery Channel, Hasbro, Google, United Nations Secretariat, UN staff, to kind of understand and partner with them in creating two things actually as from an external consultant. One is, how do we drive awareness on this topic, because awareness is still missing in organizations. What do you mean by that? And the second is, after awareness, how do we drive this cultural behavioral change? How do we get people to truly imbibe this value of DEI? And it's not one of your key responsibility area, but this is your value. You breathe it. You include it in your being, and it goes beyond your 9 to 5 hours work. So it's been fun last 3 years doing this with different organizations at different stages. Some organizations far evolving, and some organizations are starting off, which is a good thing, because it's always good to have conversations around what was the highlight of my D&I journey. And what I believe as well, the highlight of my D journey is not what I've done in it or what I've partnered with organizations or the change I've made. It's my purpose, my story, what triggered me. Why is this so important for me? Because 4 years ago, D&I was not born 4 years ago. We had diversity from the beginning. We had inclusion challenges from the beginning. But it struck me 4 years ago because it hit me at a personal experience. And therefore, that inspired me to do something about it, to make a difference.